Hello, and thanks for joining me at IT Homelab Online. In this video, we're going to install Proxmox Virtual Environment. Proxmox VE is a free open-source virtualization platform that lets you run multiple virtual machines and manage them through a web interface. It's built on Linux and supports KVM for full virtual machines. With features like clustering, snapshots, backups, and high availability, it's highly scalable and great for home labs and enterprise deployments alike. Now, let's get started. For this exercise, I'm going to use a 5-year-old Dell laptop, which is a Latitude 5411. The laptop has a 10th generation i7 processor and 16 GB of RAM. The main advantage of this laptop is that it has an Ethernet port, making multi-machine networking more reliable than Wi-Fi, despite Proxmox supporting both. For the purpose of this video, I'll be using Wi-Fi. The more RAM, hard disk space, and CPU power and cores, the better you are. Firstly, we need to download the official Proxmox installer from their website. You can do a Google search for Proxmox download. Select the one from the official Proxmox website. Accept or reject the cookies. Select Proxmox Virtual Environment. Click on ISO. And then click on the download for the latest ISO installer. Now this is going to take a little while, so I'll pause the video here and we'll resume once it's downloaded. Okay, once you finish the download, you need to either write the ISO file to a USB stick using a tool like Rufus or Berliner Etcher, or you can do what I'm going to do, and that is copy it to a Ventoy USB stick, which allows you to do install multiple operating systems from the same USB device. So I'm going to copy that over. I'll include a link below on how to create a Ventoy USB bootable disk if you haven't already seen my previous clip. Okay, so once that's finished copying, I will eject that stick and plug it into my laptop that I'm going to install Proxmox on. Okay, so now what we need to do is boot from our USB device. As I said, in this case, I'm going to use my Ventoy stick, but if you've used Berliner Etcher or Rufus to burn directly to a USB stick, you would select it from here. Now I'm going to select my Proxmox VE image and boot in normal mode. And now we have the installer. Pretty straightforward. We use the graphical interface. So I have connected this to my home network via the Ethernet cable. Wasn't able to get it to install successfully via the Wi-Fi. We should be able to change it later, but we can ignore that error for now. We agree to the license agreement. We've got the correct driver selected. We select our country, which in my case is Australia. Select our time zone, in my case is Melbourne. And I'll leave it on US English. Create a password. This needs to be a fairly strong password. This is a root password, so it's got full access to everything on this system, and your email address for your administrator. next. Now you need to give it a fully qualified domain name. Because I don't have a domain set up for this, I'm going to use the name of Proxmox, and I'm going to put a 01 at the end. This is so that later on I can configure it for clustering if I choose to, and I can create 02, 03, etc. And it would preserve Proxmox on its own to be the central management. And because it has to be a fully qualified domain name, I'm going to add .local at the end of it. I'm going to set static IP address. I know that this one is free and available. It's set for my my previous subnet. It's detected that through DHCP, but we do need to set it to static. The gateway is correct and my DNS server is correct there. You could also set that to 8.8.8.8 to go out and use Google's DNS server, or if you wanted to use Cloudflare 1.1.1.1. Actually, I might change it in this instance and say next, and make sure you remember the static IP and that it doesn't conflict with anything else. Everything is correct there, and it will automatically reboot, so just click install. Now this is quite a quick process, so I won't pause the video just so you can get an indication as to how long it does actually take. Very quick. As I mentioned earlier, the more processor cores you have and the more RAM and hard drive space, the better for a Proxmox server. I was able to scavenge an additional memory module to put into mine, so every little bit helps. So now we've switched back to our laptop, our Windows laptop. What we're going to do is open up a new web browser connection to the IP address, port 8006, and just confirm yes. We go to advanced. We don't have a certificate installed on here at the moment. You can do that later. For this exercise, I'm not going to. Okay, and we can log in as root with the password that we set. Okay, so you'll get this subscription warning. Proxmox wants you to subscribe and pay for services. However, it's not required. They're happy for you to still use it, but obviously they do want to get some sort of remuneration. So what we can do is we can go in and remove these warnings. Now, what we're going to do is go to another website This website is called helperscripts.com. And on this website, we're going to do a search, and we can search for a script up here in this window. So we want Proxmox virtual environment, and we want to do the post install script, which you can see here, PVE post install. Okay, scroll down to the bottom of this window here and copy the script. And just take note of the warning. If you're not comfortable downloading it directly, you can always download it and view the source before you run this command, just by going directly to the URL and downloading it and viewing it in a text viewer before you install it. Okay, now I'm going to open up a command prompt. And SSH into root my IP address, accept the fingerprint for the first time, enter my password, and then I'm going to paste that command that I copied from the browser. Now this will download a script file and execute it using the bash command. Okay, so we're going to say yes to start the install script. We can say OK to that message. We don't have to worry about it. Okay. Now, we're not subscribing, so what we want to do is disable the PVE Enterprise repository. Again, disable the Ceph Enterprise repository. We want to allow PVE no subscription repositories. We can keep the test repository, that's fine. It's up to you whether you want to be able to use test software in there or not. For a lab, it's okay. And this is the key, we want to disable the subscription nag. Say yes to that one. Okay, it gives you just another bit of information to say that it supports the team, and if you're in a position where you can make a financial contribution, then by all means don't disable the nag and subscribe. Now for now, we're going to disable high availability because we only have a single Proxmox server. And we're going to disable clustering for now, so yes on that one as well. And we're not going to do an update because we're going to do that manually ourselves. And okay, and we don't need to reboot. Okay. Now we're going to do a PVE update. Which is effectively installing all the packages. They recommend you use PVE update rather than using sudo or apt update, sorry. You won't need to use sudo in this at all because you're running as root. My apologies, we're actually going to do PVE upgrade and update all of the packages. Now, if we come back to the Proxmox interface and do a refresh, we no longer get that nag notification when we sign in. We'll close it, reopen it. And it doesn't pop up with the nag notification. Okay, we'll just let all of these updates complete. And then we'll do a reboot. We can check to see when it comes back online by doing a ping -t to repeat. Okay, back online. So now we can go back to our web interface, just see if that's fully loaded yet, and it has. Okay, so that's Proxmox installed for you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'll include some links in the description below. And the next video I'll do, I will create a couple of virtual machines in the Proxmox environment so you can see how to use it. Thanks for watching.